Wow. All right, so I don't know if you guys have heard this just breaking today, actually earlier today, from coinweek.com. The article will be posted below. If you wanted to skip right along to that, you can. But Galen Dean Rust, who owns and operated in the past Rust Rare Coin Incorporated in Layton, Utah, which, might I add, is a coin and bullion shop that's been around since 1966. Yeah, he got popped for 19 years. He's going to federal prison for that length of time. In addition, he is ordered to pay $150 million to 568 victims of a what they're calling a criminal scheme. We're going to get into a little bit that here in a second. But he was convicted of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and securities fraud. I mean, holy crap. What? Now, he's ordered to pay $153 million, but that's not the amount of money that he ultimately swindled away from all of his clients. So he had this elaborate scheme, and this might sound very familiar, and I want you to think kind of really closely as this maybe something that you've probably seen or heard of before. But this is actually something that he had done in the course of 16 years from 2002 to 2018 while he was manager of RRC. Okay, that's for short for Rust Rare Coin. And by the way, there's a picture of this dealer on the Coin Week article, and I gotta say, that is a damn fine looking coin shop. I've only seen a few coin shops that look quite to this level. Just the cleanliness, the professionalism. Yeah, if you're looking to spend money, that was definitely the place to go. But anyways, Mr. Rust had facilitated some sort of what he called silver trading program. All right. But in reality, it was just a cover up to an elaborate Ponzi scheme, which apparently, if he went 16 friggin' years of doing this sort of thing, then, there was probably a lot of naive people. I'm not going to lie to you. There was probably a lot of people that put way too much trust in this guy. Sure, the beautiful, elaborate coin shop, was more or less a front for his operation at this point in time. Why couldn't he just stay a rare coin dealer instead of getting into this? Like he needed the friggin' money to begin with. But anyways, he swindled over $225 million from approximately 500 investors through this so-called silver trading program. The money and the continuous kind of like recycling thereof gave the indication that the silver trading program was profitable, it was healthy, and it was doing its work, right? I mean, these are the type of things, guys, that you have to be incredibly careful of getting yourself into, right? If you haven't heard of it before, all right, and you've never seen it in action, always be cautious, be wary of such a things. One thing that comes to mind that has some sort of similarities, but not really, is fractional share investing. All right, kind of really think about that. If you can't own yourself a $2 million coin, there are companies, investment groups that do the fractional share investing. Although it's not out there in prominence. Although it's been around the neighborhood for, I would say, over 10 years, if not longer. But getting back to this thing right here, Rust carried out the fraudulent scheme, and I'm just kind of reading verbatim off of one of the paragraphs here. carried out the fraudulent scheme by explaining to victims that RRC's silver trading program was a lucrative investment that involved the buying and selling of actual silver bullion. That 100% of investor funds would be used to buy actual silver, that all in the silver bullion purchased would be stored at Brink's Global Services in Salt Lake City or LA, and that RRC was storing almost $80 million of silver bullion at Brink's. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell how it works, but you could probably kind of foresee just how things can go wrong with this sort of program. And there's a lot of greed. There's a lot of greed in this particular story from Mr. Rust, as if it wasn't worse enough that you were, stealing all this money, but you were lying to the people that were handing you 50 grand, $100,000 of probably life savings money. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, this sounds like something that it's interesting because silver investing came into prominence, I would say, since like 2008, right? Like when the recession hit and people were pumping money as a safe haven into silver. That's where this right here became an incredibly attractive option for people that maybe didn't have tons of money, or they didn't want to manage the physical form of the investing, because you're gonna have to store it, you're gonna have to pay whatever to have it stored, and it's, I don't know, it can be a hassle, especially if you're just in it for the investing. Rust further told investors that all the silver trades were conducted through an RRC account at HSBC Bank. That profit generated in trades would be used to repurchase a larger amount of silver at lower price, thereby continually increasing the amount of silver for investors, and that by using algorithms, the silver trading program had never experienced a losing month, much less a losing year, and that the worst year had generated a 12% return, and that the average rate of return was 20% to 25%. That's a lot of bullshit right there that this guy was trying to, get in over on its investors. Algorithms, what? I mean, this is all stuff that's really Greek to some investors who are primarily like old school, right? Silver investing, while it's very progressive today. Hence the incredible premiums that we're seeing on bullion in all various fineness and whatnot. Using like key buzzwords like algorithms and return on investment and all this other stuff. I mean, this had a lot of like shaky kind of foundation to begin with. So here's really what really kind of the crap floating to the top, so to speak. Rust had little to no silver stored at Brink's. Okay, so that tells you something right there. He had nothing. He had no physical investment silver stored at this facility. Rust had not stored silver bullion at Brink's since 2016. All right, 2-year gap, because he had done it since 2018. And no meaningful investor funds were ever used to purchase silver bullion during the scheme. So what in the hell did it buy, right? RRC had no mechanism to generate meaningful returns on silver trading, which means he was a greedy sumbitch. You know what I mean? I mean, like, he was using the money for his own personal gain, for his own wealth, and to essentially, he was buying McDonald's cheeseburgers off of $220+ million. What else was he buying? He diverted nearly all investor funds to other businesses, personal use, how the hell does that happen, and to payments to previous investors. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. Yeah. Rust also admitted that in January of 2016, he opened 3 personal accounts at Zion's Bank and used these accounts to launder approximately $18 million from the fraudulent trading scheme. Now, according to more information, he never opened up any account at HSBC. He did. He again, the lies just continuously keep on coming. The moral of the story, and the big kind of point to this, and the reason why I'm telling you this, is you're going to see a lot more of the shady stuff go on as technology gets smarter with how we're living today. I mean, the way that we were living back when this guy was operating his Ponzi scheme 10 years ago compared to the advancements in technology. And then you have cryptocurrency, and then you have NFTs, and then you have fractional shares, and then you have online auction circuits going on 24/7 every single day. There is a lot of opportunity for people that if they really wanted to, okay, they can swindle you for many thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars if you really wanted to. If a 62-year-old man was able to do this to over 500 investors, you better believe that some Gen X, Gen Y, 25-year-old with a pretty face can do the same thing. I mean, we've all heard all these horror stories about these young guys really taking advantage of their demographic group, which, today, keep in mind, the people that are 25 to 35 years old are going to be prime targets, but they're also going to be people that are a little bit smarter, that make more money than the original baby boom generation of folks at a much rapid rate because of the advent of online investing, of NFTs, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and everything else. All right. And then leveraging social media to do such a thing. I've seen it. I've seen quite a few of it, not only in coins, currency, and PMs, but also sports cards. There was the whole video game grading, was a Wada Games and Heritage Auctions debacle from like a year or two, where Wada Grading Company just kind of like came out of nowhere and became the biggest video game grading service. And that was quite an elaborate plan. I'm not going to get into too much detail because there's been a few people that have researched that. Carl Jobst, who's on YouTube, had done a number of spectacular video articles and pieces regarding that particular subject. But, where this tie-in is there's going to be even more elaborate, easy to sell to consumer type of shenanigans, much like this. And, we all have to leverage what we can by utilizing our online resources, social media, putting out there, hey, have you guys heard of this person or this group or this company that's doing this sort of thing? Would you trust it? And then right off the bat, people are going to either investigate it, number one. Number two, they're going to let you know right away if it's a good idea or not. And where we're at today, and we're not just seeing this in things like coins and PMs, but a lot of things that are investable. And we're beginning to see digital investable traded goods. There's virtual real estate that's becoming a thing. Call it crazy. I think I'm old school. I'm a guy in my 40s, so I think that's like the dumbest, stupidest thing that I've ever heard of. But there is a lot of money involved. All right, there's a lot at stake here, and there's never been more money floating around. And I know what you're saying. We're like, well, if that's the case, where's my piece of the pie? Well, the young people get it. All right, and by the way, as of today, Elon Musk had decided to buy Twitter, just out of the blue, right? Which kind of overshadowed this particular article, which was only on Coin Week. I didn't see it on Coin World. It might be there. I don't know. But go ahead and check out the article. It's got the whole write-up. Very well done. It was originally put out there by the United States Attorney General's Office, the District of Utah. So you can even go onto their website, and then they could talk about this particular case ad nauseum. till you get sick in the brains, because it's just like, I can't believe this guy did this. And they're ordering him to pay 153 million when he had admittedly taken 225 million. Honestly, I think he ought to pay the other 72 million, to all the victims, to all the people affected. Because at the end of the day, it's these people that had worked hard their entire life to put in, X amount of dollars to invest in the so-called silver trading program, which, if I had seen it, I would say, you know what, that is incredibly risky. It's incredibly risky. But yeah, this 62-year-old man did what he had to do, and he didn't do it very well, and he got caught. So, numismatic crimes are happening all the time, and it's just going to be a matter of, let's rally around each other's ability to get the information correctly by utilizing and leveraging things that we can online, through YouTube, through TikTok, and every social media site you could think of. So that's what I wanted to say. Obviously I had scathing words for this guy who, at 62 years old should know better. But, he was blinded by dollars, and he ended up stealing a lot of money in this scheme. And no money got spent for any of it. So anyways, that's going to go ahead and do it. Thank you guys. And I'll catch up with you guys later. You guys have a good one.